Hello everyone, we just got ourselves even more news about Baldur's Gate 3. Larian has just released the community update 21, confirming some of the stuff I was talking about in my previous video, but also a couple interesting tidbits that we're gonna go through right now, and also confirming one thing that was plaguing some of your minds about the actual release date. So I will go through all of it right now and I hope you enjoy. So right away, Larian just came out and said it that the first act of the game is only about 25% of the game, and also that Act 1 will contain 33% roughly more content that it already had, so this is great news to hear. The game was gonna be absolutely huge. We will also be discussing the fresh character creation, multi-classing, and of course our beloved or not new playable origin character, which of course we know who it is by now. It is the Dark Urge. We're gonna talk about him a little bit. Also the inclusion of crafting in alchemy and much more. So first up, we got some new character customization options confirmed, like freckles, new tattoo designs, scars, lip makeup customization, accessories like piercings, and horn color customization for tieflings. We also gonna have an age slider and body types, but there's not gonna be too many, but we're gonna be able to choose between, for example, the strong body type and the slim body type for most of the races. Next up, we have multi-classing, which is officially confirmed. We knew that before, but it's good to see it written down, and also confirmation that you can multi-class any class you want with a different one, and also the stat requirements, so the ability scores requirement, all are removed. So you will be able to, for example, go and create a monk without his wisdom or whatever requirement of ability scores. Same goes for a strength requirement for barbarian, and so on and so on. So you'll be able to right away multi-class in a class you want. This is good because, for example, maybe you're gonna want to build a dexterity paladin, and then you won't have to have this pesky strength requirement upon you. So this is a good thing. Larian does recommend, which I recommend too, to have some previous D&D experience if you want to dabble into multiclassing, but I will have a lot of guides about it on my channel. In fact, I already have a bunch of them, but I will be making more up to release of Baldur's Gate 3, so stay tuned for some cool multiclassing mumbo jumbo and cool combinations of classes that I'm gonna came up with and hopefully help you to create your character. But going further down the line, respecking classes controversial? Maybe. Well, some people like it, some people don't. Now it's officially confirmed that respecking will be in the game, so that means you can respecialize your character or your NPCs, your origin characters. Everyone can go back to level 1 anytime you choose for. It costs a little fee, I believe, from one of your camp followers. So this is a really neat options for those who like to experiment a lot, but also, for example, if you decide to play a strength paladin and you want to play as a strength paladin up to level 5, but then later maybe you're gonna decide that you want to multi-class and pick up, for example, Pact of the Blade, that is confirmed that it is in the game, and for example change your attack and damage rolls to be based on charisma now, you can do it with respecializing yourself later down the line or even earlier, wherever you want, and just changing things around. For example, if your build gonna come online on level 8, then you can play a different one up to level 7, and then finally, when you know your build's gonna be good, you can respecialize and make this hybrid of a character. But I think it's good that it's in the game for me personally, because, well, I love making builds, but also for newcomers, because if you're gonna screw up your build, then you have a free way to just respecialize and try something else. Of course, it has some well, I think it's gonna have limitations in terms of, I don't think you're gonna be able to respecialize your origin characters to make them a different class from level 1, but that is not confirmed yet, so we don't know yet. Maybe you're even gonna be able to make Gale a barbarian, who knows? That would break some stuff in the game, and personally, I'm not sure how I feel about it, if you're gonna be able to respecialize that hard, but then again, it is a single player game, so if someone wants to do it and doesn't care about the story, then more power to them, right? And if we want to stay on the purer way of playing D&D, then we're just not gonna use it, so I probably won't respecialize Gale to something crazy if there's gonna be an option to change him from a wizard, for example. But the point is, you can take every companion and yourself back to level 1 and change things around. So again, it is not said explicitly that you will be able to change the base classes of origin characters. We'll see how it's gonna be. From this text, I am thinking that you won't be able to, but who knows, maybe there will be a mode available in which it's just gonna be free for everyone to do whatever they want. Now we come to mercenaries at your service. Recruit little assistants with hirelings. This is a little bit controversial because this is Larian's system of custom characters that you can hire along the way in your campaign if you decide to forgo using origin characters, or you just want to build a whole custom party. This is a little bit strange for me, because this is actually still a preset of characters that you're gonna pick from. This is gonna be one for each class, but they are, I guess, a preset with their own name already, their own portrait. And also, well, probably a little bit of a backstory, as we can see. I wonder if you'll be able to change it a little bit. Maybe Larian will themselves decide to make it a bit more blank, which some people truly want, because they want like a blank, pure D&D experience of just creating your whole party. This is already preset a bit. I wonder if you'll be able to modify those characters at all. I hope so, because, well, this is not exactly what people were asking for. This is still good, because, well, if you're gonna kill your companions or something, you're still gonna be able to hire people to play the game with. So this is gonna satisfy some, but probably gonna rub others the wrong way a little bit, because, well, as I said, some people want to just be able to create fully everything by themselves, like having 4 Tevs in your party pretty much. And this is, well, a little bit different, so I wonder how the community will react to it, and I would love to hear your opinion. Do you mind it at all? I don't really care too much, to be honest, but I know there are some people that are very, well, have a firm opinion on this topic. It says there are 12 hirelings available for you to recruit, 1 for each class. Each has their own names, visuals, and race, and can be respected at any time. I wonder if you can recruit a couple of them, though, because maybe someone will want to play 4 paladins or 4 druids, as they even stated a giant druidic, that everyone's gonna run around with giant druidic badgers. So I am not sure if you'll be able to have all 3 of them alongside yourselves in your party, like the same one, the same kind, but, well, we'll see. Then we have pretty much the summary from Panel from Hell. So experience Baldur's Gate 3 through new eyes as a playable 3 Outward Origin characters. We know that already. We know the crew. We talk about it all the time, so we know that. We talked about the Dark Urge enough as well already. One little tidbit that is worth mentioning is that we now know the name of the hobgoblin that is accompanying the Dark Urge sometimes. We're gonna find out more how exactly in the actual game. That his name is Kele Ritas Fell, voiced by Brian Bowles, narrator from Divinity Original Sin 2. A vile and loyal servant, Fell lives only to see the Dark Urge return to their rightful bloodstained path, and urges them to commit some of the most lurid acts of violence that you'll encounter in the game. But whether you indulge your most depraved impulses or attempt to resist them in this role is entirely up to you. They also mention how in Baldur's Gate 3 there is no clear-cut evil path and no path that is plainly good. So this is good, because now we know that the Dark Urge won't be necessarily just for the evil path and evil-like playthroughs that you're gonna want to maybe do. And then a little bit more about romances, but the interesting thing here mentioned is that the Guardian, the character you create at the start of the game who represents all that you desire, the Guardian has changed significantly since you first encountered them in your dreams through early access. We've worked to thematically deepen the narrative thread, going beyond the realm of physical desire to encompass the full spectrum of complex emotions that must be navigated in order for you to truly trust another. We hope you enjoyed the previous maddeningly vague sentence, because you'll have to play for yourself to find out what any of that means. Well, some of us already know if you follow my channels and my channel and other channels about, well, the story and everything related to early access and Baldur's Gate 3. But yeah, there will be some implications here, pretty big ones, about, well, what we're gonna interact about with this character. From Cauldron to Vial, mastering the art of alchemy. So crafting is confirmed, at least in one shape, which is alchemy. We'll be able to make different sets of potions, which is pretty cool. I wonder if you're also gonna be able to make items and other stuff. We know that in early access, for example, you can make a spear from the shaft and the pointy end, that you can make a pretty cool spear. Well, you probably know which one I mean, but also now we have confirmed potions, but I believe there are other perhaps categories here that's also gonna be available in the game, but for now it's cool to see that we're gonna be able to craft some useful potions for ourselves. Then we have the third major villain of Baldur's Gate 3, Orin the Red, which is a pretty interesting character voiced by Lady Dimitrescu from Resident Evil Village. Probably some of you are familiar with that. And this character hides her cravings to commit murder beneath these numerous masks, disguising her intentions and herself to lure unsuspecting victims. It is a little bit of a parallel to the Dark Urge, and she does seem seen to have some Baal influences on her and also in the way she acts. So we'll see how it's gonna go with your Dark Urge character if you decide to play as him. But she seems to be a really interesting character that can shapeshift freely. She can even show up in your camp. You're not gonna be sure if it's your companion or if it's her. So that's gonna be pretty creepy and interesting to see in the actual game. We have split screen co-op multiplayer confirmed, which is some very good information for those of us who want to play together with others, and also if you want to play on a controller for our console brothers and sisters. This is also a very good information. And also a lot of stuff will be shared between your multiplayer companions, which is great. For example, players will share most of the information that the game provides them, like journal notes about ongoing adventures, minimap discoveries, and alchemical recipes. Player inventories are also shared by default in multiplayer, but there is an option to lock your inventory from your thieving pals. Players also share inspiration points that they gain when fulfilling goals defined by their chosen background. So again, just more multiplayer goodies. Then of course we got the mention of scope of Baldur's Gate 3, which is now is gonna be vast and amazing with 174 hours of cinematic content and also more than 2,000 characters for you to interact with. Different reactivities based on your chosen species and class, and the golden path that takes you over 80 hours to complete. You can expect to discover a staggering amount of previously unseen content in your second or even third playthrough. This is of course a rough estimate of if you're just gonna beeline to the endpoint. I'm guessing this 80 hours you can probably go even 160 or 200 hours. I'm not gonna be surprised that that's gonna be my first playthrough, but this is just, well, great information to just know that the game is gonna be so expensive that it's just gonna be amazing. We all know that. Now a little tidbit about crowds in the city of Baldur's Gate. They will systematically gossip and talk about your escapades and failures. We know that from before, for example, from newspapers and such, but also now just the town gonna be alive and talk about your different achievements. So this is cool and can even be influenced through your directly modifying the paper and printing the most very favorable headliners. We already knew this as well. And don't worry, you can stream Baldur's Gate 3, which is great news to me. I welcome you to my stream at Twitch TV Kenra. We will be making multiple playthroughs of Baldur's Gate 3, so I hope to see you there. But there will be like a, well, not a profanity filter, but there's gonna be a show cinematic nudity and show genitals filter, so I guess that's good, so we won't get banned while streaming. But, well, it is good to have this confirmation along the way. And we're ending it on the road ahead. So the first piece of information that is important, and probably some of you maybe didn't already know, is that the saves in the early access version will not be transferable into the final game. But also the second information is about the early access and the actual start of the game. So we won't be able to have this 72 hours head start, so we won't be able to play on July 31st. It's gonna be for August the 3rd for everyone on PC, which I think is still very fair. We are still getting the game a whole month ahead of schedule, so those 3 days won't really change anything for us. I think we waited so long already, we can wait 3 more days. We're gonna be fine, and we're gonna just start playing and experiencing the game together. I just can't wait for that. So I fully understand their decision. It is a bit of a shame that we had a bit of miscommunication also on my YouTube channel, but just everywhere, no one was really sure when the actual date is gonna be released. But now we know, August the 3rd, we're gonna see what you're gonna come up with on character creation, and I hope we're gonna share our builds and everything. Is just gonna be a really exciting time. But for now, I hope you enjoyed this little summary from me, and well, I'll see you next time. I have some new things that I want to talk about in my next video, probably tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. The channel is growing so nicely thanks to you, every single one of you. I just can't thank you enough. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again very soon.